Don't go anywhere, stay tuned. Get ready to take a trip down memory lane. That table can only mean one thing. We're going to be playing the Nintendo 64. On today's episode of Memory Lane, we're going to be playing the god-awful, notoriously bad WCW Nitro for the Nintendo 64. Now, the PlayStation copy is definitely a lot better, but we already know that this game's bad, but is there anything that could possibly make it better? Maybe let's try a GameShark. What happens if we combine this with a GameShark? Will it make our life a little bit easier and better? What can you possibly do in this game with a GameShark? On the front cover, just like the PlayStation version, it features some WCW superstars. You got Hogan, Goldberg, and Nash. So let's, this also came from a video rental place. Look at that. So let's head over to the Nintendo 64 and let's check out what we can do with the GameShark. Alright, excuse the mess over here, but we're gonna pop this in and let's see if we can make this work. Now we got a whole different type of power here. Got GameShark and Nitro. It's a deadly combination. Let's meet over by the CRT and let's see what kind of crazy stuff we'll get out of this. It's definitely a dangerous combination right here. Alright, here we are playing the GameShark on the N64. This is going to be a really interesting thing here because I never really used the GameShark on the Nintendo 64 too much. But apparently there is stuff on here that we can check out, and we're going to be playing WCW Nitro on the N64, which is notoriously a bad game. And it looks like we have infinite health for player 1, infinite timeout for player 1, and a quick countout for player 2. So let's see if that actually works. Let's see if that actually works. And start game with selected codes. Now it looks very, very much like the Sega Saturn Action Replay. And we got the THQ screen right there. We got that screen right there. Got a little example of what the gameplay looks like. Got some bone crushing action right there. Got Kevin Nash and Sting. Oh, power bomb! You got a Hulk Hogan being beat up by I think Chris Jericho, Kurt Hennig. It's like a
good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to
a lot of different things going on there. So there's a very, very loud. Let's turn the sound down just a little bit here before we get a copyright violation here. And of course, my TV turned off. Okay, so those are pretty much what we have there for that. I thought I had more stages than that. Let's see if I do. Yeah, here we go. So, in WCW Nitro on the PlayStation, there's like a whole bunch of weird looking stages. Nitro, NWO, Graveyard, Spaceship, Circus, Hive, Turbo, Wonderland. There's a lot of weird stuff. Hall of Mirrors. The disco stage. So 1984, I'm not even sure what the hell that is. Texas. We'll put it on random. So One thing that I loved about this game on the PlayStation is there's plenty of weird, crazy unlockable characters. And it looks like on the N64 version, you have unlockable characters. You have mostly wrestlers here. But they took out all the obscure, crazy-looking characters. So, like they had a snowman. I think they had a bear. They had a lot of weird characters in that game. They had a bee, I think, because there's a beehive level. So let's choose a wrestler. And I'm just going to pick someone random here. Alright, so there we have what appears to be a mirror stage. And to be honest, I don't know exactly how to play this on the 64. But I can actually sit outside all day long, and it looks like the GameShark is very, very biased towards the computer characters. I'm getting my ass kicked. I kind of like the graphics better on the N64 versus the PlayStation version. I don't know, this looks better to me. And also the PlayStation version had those really cool FMV video clips of each wrestler. You push circle and you can actually watch them talk. And you can see Macho Man is beating the crap out of me. He's not getting anywhere. So the way this game plays, it plays kind of similar to like Warzone or Attitude. You have to hit a button combination to actually pull a move off. You have to be quick. Because if you're not quick, the computer guy will definitely get you. It's a shame that WCW Thunder never made it to N64. So you see Macho Man is right there. He's a little perturbed right now. I'm getting my ass kicked by the Macho Man Randy Savage. So that gives you an idea. And you can see right there, there's like a snow stage. There's that stage right there. Space, you're in space. Now a lot of these stages came from the PlayStation version. It's a disco stage right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WCW.
I think the funniest stage is probably the disco stage. So you put the disco stage on. I'm going to show you. It's only fitting if you're playing the disco stage, you play as Disco Inferno. And let's see here. Let's pick Parka. See what happens here. You can see some crazy stuff happening here. And Disco Inferno's doing a dance. You see that? And Parka's doing a dance. Every time you taunt, the wrestlers start doing dances, which is pretty funny. You hear the crowd going crazy. You can see there's like a disco bar in the background. Everybody's having fun. There's a WCW event taking place inside of a disco hall. All kinds of crazy lights going on here. It's crazy looking. Now, La Parka is definitely one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He actually wrestles in MLW right now as we speak. He actually still wrestles really good, even though he's old. Get my ass kicked. If this was a PlayStation controller, it'd be a different story. I really don't know what the hell buttons I'm... Oh, you threw me over this hot. Is there a... Okay. I was looking to see if there's like a button moveset option you can look at. Like, the Parker is beating the crap out of me here. Oh my god, he's really beating me up. Look at this. It's breaking my bones. Oh my god. Well, as you can see, the GameShark is working. This game is definitely not the greatest. It's much better on the PlayStation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome.
The controls are kind of hard to execute on the 64. I just can't seem to comprehend playing this game on 64. I own the game, but it's a little bit hard. Let's go back here for a second. Let's choose a different stage. There's the jungle stage. Let's check that out. Got a good old Rey Mysterio Jr. See Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis. That's going to be a great match. It's back when Rey Mysterio was in his prime. And we're putting a WCW Nitro event in the jungle. You can see the people right there getting all excited. And this is using the GameShark on the 64. La Parka, not La Parka, Psychosis is going outside the ring. You got very, very limited commentary also. Let's see if we can, So here's the thing, this game came out kind of like after the PlayStation version. And, N64 gamers already had WCW vs. the World and WCW World Tour, or whatever the hell that game is. Was it Revenge? Already had that in N64. So this game really didn't do anyone any good for 64 gamers. Already had better games. So when it came out, I don't think too many people bought it. They probably bought it just to buy it, but it's more of an arcade-style wrestling game. But the N64 gamers were already spoiled with Revenge and World Tour. I remember back in the day, I did not own a Nintendo 64 right away. One of the first games I owned was Nitro on the PlayStation. As far as wrestling games go, during that era, the Nitro on the PlayStation was one of the first wrestling games that I had owned at that time. And I had a lot of fun playing it. And I unlocked like everything in the game. And I thought all the unlockable stuff was pretty cool. Now if this game had all the characters from the PlayStation version, it would have been better. Because there's a lot of crazy like fantasy characters on the PlayStation version that you don't get in this one. So you got that. You can see the demonstration actually shows off the actual jungle stage right there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WCW Nitro.
What exactly is 1984? What did I kind of forget what that is. Let's go find out. We'll pick. Okay, that's the laser level. Okay. So you're in space. It's pretty interesting looking. Look at that. you can see that the computer, no matter what they do, they cannot beat me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WCW Nitro.
Now, what would have been cool is if you had like unlockables and crazy stuff like this in Revenge or World Tour. That would have been really, really cool. But that's only possible when you play Thunder and Nitro. You get some really crazy, insane, unlockable stuff. That basically gives you an idea how to play this game. You can also do a custom configuration if you want. And yeah, that's Nitro on the PlayStation using the GameShark. And it makes you invisible, untouchable. But the game's still hard to play because you still have to execute the moves. And it's not really easy to play at all. So it is pretty cool to see the GameShark in action on the N64. You don't really see that too often anymore. And you can definitely play the tournament if you want to. And as long as you know what the moves are, you can breeze straight through it. And this is a complete roster on the N64 version right here. So I think there's a whole different category of wrestlers on the PlayStation version. There's probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably about 16 wrestlers missing that are in the PlayStation version that are technically not wrestlers, but they're like, you know, this crazy looking characters. You just don't see them on here at all. So that's what we got here. We got a Battle Royal. And we have a snow winter stage. Arctic Anarchy sounds like an ECW pay-per-view, to be honest. We got Bret the Hitman Hart showing off. And to be honest, I kind of like this game when it's slowed down a little bit. So the game always played really, really fast. So if it was always at this speed, I would actually like it better. So you can see that when you have 4 wrestlers in the ring, there is a bit of a slowdown. It could be just a touch faster, but... So that's that. That's basically their version of the Royal Rumble. You got 30 more wrestlers to go, I guess. Let's quit that. Now this gives you another example of how the stages look. It's 1984 stage. Pretty cool looking stuff here. Got the disco stage right there. Got the jungle stage. And of course, you got the Nitro logo right there. So that is WCW Nitro using the GameShark on the N64. The game is still bad. Still a lot better on the PlayStation. But it's a lot more fun to play using the GameShark. But the controls are a little tough. It's going from playing it on the PlayStation to the 64 is a little hard. It takes a lot of getting used to actually pull the moves off. So here we have another demonstration right here. Looks like we have Raven, Macho Man, who else? We have Rick Steiner and Jericho. And Jericho is the current AEW World Champion, and the AEW is actually pretty good.
Kicked out.
And check that out. Pretty awesome. So if you enjoyed this episode of Memory Lane and you want to see more GameShark stuff on the N64, stay tuned, because I will definitely be checking more games out and see exactly what they do on N64. And check this out. It's crazy looking. Look at all these stages. Let's look at that.